My favorite movies.
That's so cool.
But anyways, with that being said, yeah, I agree. I just had a flashback. We're talking about how awful these DC movies are, but then I was like, Smallville was incredible.
Incredible. Also, Alex Mack, the one that plays
Allison Mack, yeah, she's
Allison Mack
in jail.
Yeah, she's in jail because she had a cult. Well, apparently she even got Kristen Cruick involved. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, but Kristen Cruick eventually left.
No way.
Yes.
Wow, that's good.
And
good for her.
Allison Mack and Tom Welling are the only two characters in the entire Smallville actor list that have been in every single episode.
Yes, I buy. Yep, I remember that. Okay,
which I thought was really cool.
Because not even Lex was in all of them.
Nope. Yeah, because he wound up. They had a money disagreement.
Really?
Yeah, and that's when he left. They didn't renew his contract.
Okay.
Coming to America. I don't know if you remember the first one.
Loved it.
With Eddie Murphy. So they're doing a second one. I think that's kind of interesting.
I think so.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I keep.
Okay, so before we go on to the next one,
it's
let's
the
go
Bob
ahead.
Thornton hour, yeah?
Yeah, we got to go ahead and get our Billy Bobs on. We got to pay our sponsors, say thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to everybody who's listening in.
Check it out, yes.
Ever notice how sometimes classic rock isn't classic? Classic is supposed to mean the artist has been around for a while and done a thing or two. Welcome to High Quality Rock, the undisputed best artists and songs in rock and roll history with no posers and no slog. Only the best of the best rock music with pedigree that didn't come out of a comic book. Great music 24/7, excellent programs all week and every weekend. It's basically the only rock music station you need, and it's at highqualityrock.com, now included with the free Radio Vegas Rocks app.
One moment, here we go. It's got here. Oop.
Why do we love the Golden Tiki so much? How about the handcrafted tiki drinks made with freshly squeezed juices, homemade syrups, and top shelf booze? These aren't your cruise ship pre-mixed cocktails. These specialty drinks take time and are for the true cocktail enthusiasts. Located in the strip mall in Chinatown, it's truly a hidden hideaway. Well, hidden if you don't know the address. It's 3939 Spring Mountain Road. This place is what my tiki bar dreams are made of, an adult version to Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, complete with alcohol-infused Dole Whip and dirty talking birds, with drink names like Navy Grog, Terrible Twisted, and Dirty Banana. And last but not least, a shot of empathy named Kraken. These drinks will have you back and back again. From the kick-ass atmosphere, hidden Easter eggs in the bar, like Bigfoot's footprint, and don't forget to rub the golden dong for good luck. From live music to DJs that will make you feel like you're on a tropical vacation. The Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road. That's the Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road.
I don't even recognize myself anymore.
I'm really worried about him. His addiction. I haven't seen him like this. Ever.
Hey, look, I never wanted to start using. I knew the drill, but I was out of options.
I just want to tell him it's not your fault. There are people out there who can help. People who have felt your pain. They know what you're going through.
This has to stop. I'm losing everything. Everyone.
You've been strong your whole life. You can do this, but you have to reach out for help.
It's time. I can do this.
Addiction is a disease, and diseases need treatment.
Call Quit Drugs 321 now at 800-348-0933, 800-348-0933. That's 800-348-0933. Paid for by the Detox and Treatment Helpline.
Your new favorite internet radio station, RadioVegas.rocks.
Welcome back to TCD. This is Mad Mike, a.k.a. Junk McGee, and I am here joined by Ricky Bobby.
What?
Ricky D's nuts.
That's right.
All up in your face.
All up in your
which
face.
is actually ironic because it turns out Ricky is the only man who can't find wieners.
It's true.
Yeah.
Went to the store, couldn't find them.
Couldn't find the wieners.
So you're gonna have
You
to.
might have to open your horizons to other varieties.
Just ask Phil.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
right.
be too choosy.
Yeah.
Don't be too choosy.
All right.
That's right.
We were talking about some movies. We're gonna blow through some of these really quick. Top Gun Maverick.
Can't wait.
Very excited. Ghostbusters Afterlife. That comes out 2021.
Kind of torn on that one.
Yeah, I'm interested. You're worried it's going to be like the last Ghostbusters, right? Like I'm worried that they're going to try to.
No, because I know that I'm excited because it kind of throwback.
Yeah, and it has to do with like their kids, which I think is really cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah.
I think they should have stopped after Fast and Furious 1. So I'm really surprised that they still.
I
They're
like
fun
3,
little
but-
action flicks,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Once again,
Jurassic World
Yes.
Dominion. I'll watch it because it's Jurassic Park, but
they got a contest for that to be one of the people that get,
To get eaten.
Yeah. So I told Austin,
you should totally enter.
my eldest, to get into it. Yeah.
Minions: The Rise of Gru. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 7. I am utterly and completely effing psyched for. That comes out July of 2021. 22nd of July.
Right.
It's going to be amazing. He impressed the hell out of me in the last movie.
The last one was pretty impressive.
One of the greatest action movies ever made.
I don't know yet though. They got it. Yeah.
Let's see here. Another Halloween movie
Okay.
that comes out in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's November of 2021. I love Doctor Strange, and they're throwing in the Scarlet Witch, and I think it's going to have to do with all the different dimensions and whatnot. I'm super excited.
And they're supposed to tie into all the shows that are going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, which could be really super cool. Fantastic Beasts. I didn't see the first two. I think you've seen them.
Yes.
You like them, right?
Yes. I liked them because they actually kept my attention. Harry Potter had a real hard time keeping up with the first couple. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the Fantastic Beasts are
So
cool.
Some good stuff. Okay, so let's get on to let's do some. You got histories, mysteries for me, don't
Histories and mysteries,
Wait, hold
filling
on,
in for the
wait.
Hank.
We've
There's
got
a there's a
little
thing.
plug-in.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, wait. It's hard to see.
There it is.
You're listening to Two Clueless Dudes. Histories, mysteries. Like that $20 you say I owe you.
That's
So what do you got for us?
all right.
What's
so
the first thing?
First thing, 1872, Victoria Woodhull becomes first woman nominated for U.S. presidency by Equal Rights Party at Apollo Hall, New York City.
In what year?
1872,
Wow, that's crazy.
long time ago.
I know that when they were trying to come up with the women's right to vote, the people that didn't want them to have the right to vote was actually the women, because it meant having to do other responsibilities along with voting, and they were busy
Makes sense.
taking care of the household. And they're like, that's all we want to do. We don't want to do all your other.
Right.
We don't want to do the dumb shit that the men have to do.
Right.
Can you blame them?
No.
Men are dumb. we don't want to be. We don't want to be like them. So that's interesting. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Does she win?
No.
Dang. I'm glad I didn't bet money.
No. 1924, J. Edgar Hoover appointed the first head of the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
He pointed to his head
The first head.
of what year was that?
1924.
Dang, can you believe the FBI's been around effing with people's lives for that long?
Almost 100 years.
I thought it just was always a thing.
Right?
Yeah.
You think like it always was. It's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which came first?
Which came first?
Right.
America or the FBI? Nobody knows.
This one's super. I like this one because I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. 1973, Bruce Lee collapses in Golden Harvest Studios in Hong Kong and is rushed to Hong Kong Baptist Hospital, where doctors diagnose him with cerebral edema.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? He just said, I have a headache.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him like some aspirin and he drank a Coke. Fell
Yeah.
asleep and that was it. That was it.
That's
Done.
it.
It's pretty chill though.
The most physically gifted man.
Yeah.
And this is my opinion. I believe he truly reached perfection. And I think when that happened, I think
Done.
he was done.
Yeah.
I honest to God think that. I think the man was too good.
Yeah.
And I think he reached a point where you can no longer go any higher.
He's pretty amazing. I was really interested in seeing that. I'm trying to remember.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes. No.
I watched the scene. It was awful. It was
No.
stupid. Yeah.
No. The Bruce Lee story about when he had to fight. Was it Ip Man? Ip Man?
Okay, so there's Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Not that one.
That was amazing.
I love that movie.
You talking about the one that came after?
Yes.
Yeah. That also the MTV version. It was not good. Not as good as Dragon, the Bruce
I think
Lee
there's
story.
some validity there, though. I think he did have his moments where he was very, I wouldn't say cocky, but
Bruce Lee was arrogant.
extremely. But at the same time, though, I think after he met, was it Ip Man? I think it was.
I don't know.
Anyways, I think he was extremely humbled, and he had that moment where he was like, "All right," because he was quoted for that arrogance is not your whatever.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's kind of what I was going to say is he comes off very arrogant, but the reality is the man was extremely confident.
Yes.
And that's really what it was. And it can come off as being pompous, being an asshole, being arrogant. But the man, he knew you could not beat him.
Yes.
I mean, he knew he was better than you.
I agree.
And it's funny because you would say, well, that's opinion, not a fact. But to him, it was a fact.
Oh no, it was fact.
It was fact.
Because
I mean,
there wasn't many that, you know.
I can't, other than when he got kicked in the back.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can.
And I wonder if that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then he beat that man in less than 60 seconds later on down the line.
Right.
So, proving his point.
Yeah.
That he
And to
could
come
beat
back
anyone.
from a broken back.
Dude, come
to
on.
be.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I dig
Phil's
the confidence.
trying to come back from a broken wiener and can't even do that.
No, yeah, he can't. Yeah.
It's
Hey,
crazy.
keep pressing on, bro.
Yeah, keep pressing on.
Yep. We're with
We're
you.
here for you.
Yeah. So, we believe. So,
Okay, very cool. 1773.
yep. So next, 1963, Bob Dylan walks out of the Ed Sullivan Show. A CBS executive had a problem with the lyrics for his song. To my knowledge, there's just one man that's really a true American, George Lincoln Rockwell. Rockwell was the founder of the American Nazi Party.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
Whoops.
so
Oh,
the
Bob
exec
Dylan.
didn't appreciate that, and Bob Dylan said, "Well, I'm gonna sing it or whatever," and I guess walked out.
Wow.
Yeah. 1994, Nelson Mandela sworn in as South Africa's first black president after spending approximately 30 years in its prison.
That's right. Yeah, he was Akon. Locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's right. And then let's see here.
And he likes corn. Not a
Does
lot
he?
of people know. Oh, he's a huge corn. He's a corn nut.
Really?
Popcorn, Mexican corn, corn on the cob.
Really?
Sweet corn.
Jonathan
awesome.
Davis corn?
Yes. He's a huge fan
the,
of corn.
And
The band.
Fieldy?
Oh, loves
All the above.
loves them.
And then in 2009, the Statue of Liberty's crown reopens to the public after 8 years due to security reasons following the World Trade Center attacks. Because you're perfectly safe under her grandma's schmuck, I guess.
Yeah, and fill us some notes there for you.
Yeah.
She's known for her grandmother smock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that toga thing she wears, right?
Yep, that's right. Have you guys ever been to the Statue of Liberty?
I've seen it.
Oh, no.
I've seen it, but I have not been to it.
Oh, I've been to it. I grew
I
up.
seen it with my eyes.
I was a young kid in New York when I was born there.
You were,
Did
wait,
you
you
rub
were
a
a
toe?
young kid when you were born?
Yeah,
You just completely skipped
Yeah,
the whole
I
infancy
mean-
phase.
I did. I was better than that.
I just walked right out of that.
I was better than that. I told Mom, I said, just save that booby for someone else.
Wiped
I'm
myself
good.
off. So that was gross.
I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a dirt bike? Let's go.
Let's
Or a race
ride.
car. And then next, 1928, Benito Mussolini ended women's rights in Italy. Women received their rights back in 1948, but wasn't until the 1970s until they made some major leeway with their rights.
Interesting. A lot of women's rights stuff on here today. So, Benito Mussolini, for anybody who doesn't know who that is, he was a right prick.
Yeah.
He was a right prick, and basically, he was the stooge to Hitler. He was like Hitler's
True.
left-hand man.
Yeah.
I mean, they were little cronies. He was a roadie. He was like a roadie. He was like a Hitler roadie. See, and Phil says we don't. Phil refused to believe that we brought up Hitler in every single episode.
Yeah,
but I'm
for sure.
telling you, he somehow manages to come in every single episode.
Yeah, have you guys brought up the fact that he gets a pineapple in the oak keister?
That's right. Well, and that's the thing. I try to hey, look, it's part of our history. It's his whole thing is you shouldn't talk about it because it was bad and they were bad people. But here's the thing: you have to talk about it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because when you don't,
That's when you repeat.
they
For
forget.
sure.
And when they forget, it opens that door.
Yep.
It
You
drives
gotta
me
know,
nuts when
folks.
people can't allow like other people to make jokes that
it's
like
just
offend
satire.
them and like bring up stuff that they don't want to talk about. It's fine. Just don't patronize that entertainer.
Yeah.
And let
Yeah.
them entertain who they're entertaining, because
That's
that's,
right.
Move on.
perpetuating knowledge too.
Right.
Yeah, move
I
on
agree.
to somebody else.
Yeah. And this is crazy because given the earthquake that happened this morning,
Yeah, I felt that. Did you guys feel it?
I didn't. I was asleep.
I was totally up goofing off on some code, and then I was like trying to think really hard about something, and I started feeling sick. I was like, oh no, I need to eat something or something. I thought I was just nauseous and getting vertigo.
Yeah.
And I was like, this feels like hella vertigo. And I look up, and like the lamp's swaying slightly, just a couple inches.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
I didn't
anything.
feel it
It
either.
was really rolly. I wouldn't have noticed it asleep at all.
But like the last
Have
one.
you ever had a dog bite your penis? While you
Not
were
during an
sleeping?
earthquake.
No? Oh. It's happened to me.
While you were asleep, you had a little wiener nip.
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
That's such a non sequitur from the earthquake thing, but more startling to wake up to. It's like that's a massive one-upper.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a massive one upper. Well, so this week in history, 1643, way back when, heavy earthquake struck Santiago, Chile, which killed 800 people, 1/3 of its population.
Wow.
Reports of nearly every building had fallen.
And they couldn't get up?
Yeah,
They need life alert there.
they do.
That's what they needed.
Yeah,
That way, if you fall in,
that's
you can hit
probably
that button.
what was the inspiration.
That's probably where life alert came from.
That's right.
Life alert's old.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's wow.
So-
And you said that was in where? Spain?
Santiago, Chile,
Chile. Oh, Chile.
South America.
That I think that whole region is actually really heavily active too.
I think the entire Pacific Rim. They so have you guys ever seen back in when I was in elementary school, we went to a field trip to go to the IMAX theater and see Ring of Fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's talks about all that. So I think it's pretty interesting that pretty much the entire Pacific Ocean
Yeah.
is one
Is the
big
danger zone.
one big earthquake zone / tsunamis / if the Pacific Ocean wasn't itself, would it fall into itself?
Right. Like how does that work? So was that it?
That's it.
Okay.
And that is
Woo! History's mysteries, folks.
History's Mysteries.
All right, so let's get into that video game drama.
Yes, let's do it.
So
I'm excited. I want to hear
Yeah.
about
I'm not going to say the name of the company.
this. Okay.
Okay.
Other than it's Sony. I will say it's Sony, but I won't say the name of the video game company.
Okay, because there's a lot of divisions.
But
in
I'll
Sony.
tell you what the game is.
Okay.
The game is okay. Have you heard of Last of Us?
No.
Okay, it's a really popular game by by Sony. It's only on Sony. Huge thing.
Anyone could look up the publisher of this game, though.
Yes, and I implore you to look up.
Okay.
So these are the rumors that are going around.
Okay.
They're really getting ready to release Last of Us 2, and apparently, one of the employers, one of the creators, one of the developers, is very disgruntled and leaked everything about the game.
That's what they got.
Everything about the game. And the worst part about it was, after leaking the game, it turns out that the plot for the game was so bad that people started to demand refunds before the game was even released.
Really?
Was the leaked things? Was it because the leaked things were bad, or just they're like spoiled?
Because they're bad.
They're like, oh man.
Exactly. Because they were bad. Because they took the
Okay.
storyline, and a lot of people felt like they utterly and completely anal probed it
Wow.
without
Destroyed
buying a
it.
dinner first.
Right.
Awful.
Okay.
So I don't want to tell you the spoilers because apparently Sony is cracking down
Sure.
on streams and podcasts.
All good.
Oh,
But it's
that's
news, though.
fan
That's
art,
pretty-
not a spoiler.
But it has to do with those two characters.
Yeah, there's some nice fan art about them.
Yes, and that well, and that person, that Ellie.
That's a different pair of people, right?
Well, there's two. There's Ellie and I forget the other person's name, but
Mm-hmm.
one of them, I will say, one of the characters is revealed to be transgender,
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
and then that's when everything kind of goes incredibly sideways.
Does it feel like it's just shoehorned in, like it's not a believable layer?
That's where a lot of
Kind
this
of.
stuff looks like it's been forced in.
Yeah.
That's where that DC stuff kind of comes into. I feel like a lot of the character stuff is all forced in. But yeah. And that's what really kind of kills it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
I
and
thought
then
that
it's
was-
cheating too, because then critics and other people can't complain about how something was worked in because you look like you're just
Well,
intolerant of that
the
subject,
fact-
when really it's just like
the fact that
intolerant
she's-
of bad
The
storytelling.
fact that
That's
she's
right.
transgender is not the issue for the refund. Just to be
Yeah.
clear, has nothing to do with the fact that she is transgender.
right.
But it does have to do with what they do with that character.
Yeah, it's
That
another
is
layer
kind
of the clumsy
Just
writing.
kind of it's it was just, I think it was, they
It's like
tried to go
when-
for like a shock value,
Right.
and it horribly backfires.
It's like when a
Horribly
kid writes a story in school about working a job. Like, this kid has no idea what it's like to go to a job.
backfires. Yeah, no, that's no idea. Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
You don't hug your
Absolutely.
boss.
You don't hug your boss.
You don't hug your boss. Yeah.
That's why
All right.
not?
No touchy. Bad touchy.
Well, why not?
Oh, actually,
Depends on
before
where
we
you work.
continue,
Oh,
actually, no, I'll do it when we get to our next commercial break, which we're coming up to. So let's do this.
okay.
Your NFL.
Okay.
When you enter the draft and you get picked in the first round, you're making millions, right?
Yes.
2 NFL players accused of armed robbery in South Florida party. Police in South Florida are trying to find New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker and Seattle Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar after multiple witnesses accused them of armed robbery at a party. Let's see here. They're wanted on 4 counts of armed robbery each with a firearm. Baker faces an additional 4 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. This was apparently somewhere between Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
This is like CTE plus Florida.
Baker is only 22. Dunbar is 27. They apparently were attending a cookout at a Miramar home Wednesday night when a fight broke out. Baker pulled out a handgun. Baker, Dunbar, and 2 men began robbing other people at the party of thousands of dollars in cash, watches, and other valuables.
It's so weird.
Right? It doesn't make any sense. The police say they left in a Mercedes-Benz, a Lamborghini, and a BMW.
You know,
And the vehicles were parked so that it would be easy for them to leave quickly. So they probably had planned it.
What's
the
your
whole
planned
end
it out.
game with that? Like, you're super famous and you rob people? Like, how's
Dude.
that gonna play out?
Baker was one of 3 first-round draft picks by the Giants last season. He was picked 30th. You're making millions of dollars if you're picked in the first round.
oh yeah.
Millions.
You ever seen the replacements though? The first thing that
Yes.
pops to my mind is when he's talking about, do you know how much insurance on a Ferrari is, mother?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure, right, yeah.
So maybe
Well, and
maybe they
that's
were getting
something-
strapped for that cash. I don't know.
Well, that's actually, you bring up a good point. A lot of NFL players, I mean, sure they have degrees, but a lot of them are pretty ignorant. You know, and they're ignorant with their money,
Yep.
and they blow it real
I agree.
fast. So, and
I
now
agree.
they
I
have
found M&M's.
Oh yeah.
they have like programs now to help teach young NFL players like how to manage their money now.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. But this guy, let's see here.
I wonder if it has something to do with like the whole CTE thing and all that. Like,
Has to.
you know what I mean? And not being able to, I don't know. Especially, and you know how young kids are, 20 years old, 22 years old,
Yeah, it was ridiculous with money at that age.
Yeah,
I didn't
and-
even have it, and I still goofed off with it.
and easily swayed. So maybe the older guy
yeah.
had something going on wrong in the brain. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but definitely something's not right.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're leaving in a Lamborghini,
So that
That's a-
Dunbar actually got a hold of the Seahawks in a video conference. So they're still a war now. They haven't been caught, from what I can tell. But he did reach out to his team, and he said this during the video: "You just want to feel wanted at the end of the day." I don't know what that means. I just hope
so lost it.
I just
telling
hope to
you.
repay them the way I carry myself as a person.
yep, that's a good start.
That guy's carrying himself as a person with an air bubble in his skull.
And
Yeah,
a
that's right.
handgun. No.
No.
You should be kicked from the league.
Yeah.
You should not be allowed to play.
I agree.
You are a felon.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume that's a felony. armed robbery.
There's lots of people
with a
that
firearm.
don't rob that want to play football.
Right, exactly. Leave that to those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talked about that earlier. The guy that mashed the quarterback in the head with his helmet. That's assault with a deadly weapon.
Right.
I'm sorry. You're out of league. You
I
can't
agree.
control your anger. You can't control yourself. So what if he called you the N-word?
Yeah. I get it.
Who cares?
Does that mean you can possibly
Bro, when
injure
I
them
first-
for life?
Right.
Yeah.
When I first started working out in
I
the
get it.
gym, I was literally like 85 pounds. People used to throw food at me and tell me to eat a sandwich. Did I get upset and I hit him with that fucking helmet?
Well, it's a trap.
No.
You're going to have people that are going to do that specifically to get injured by you so they get lots of money.
Right.
It's
So-
like such an obvious trap.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Does that really affect your universe if somebody calls you the N-word? Does it really affect your universe if you're called a redneck hick and you're white? It doesn't. I mean, it really doesn't change anything fundamentally about you.
But if you're famous for
You just
doing
continue
something,
on and
yeah.
you play the next play.
If you're
I
famous
agree.
for doing something that's like injury at all, like it's going to happen. You're
Right.
going to have people that are going to try to get you to beat them up so they get your money.
That's true.
It's like you got to be bigger than that.
I also think that it was also a mind game. You're trying to get them out of their, and
Sure.
especially at that level,
Of course there's a mind game.
you're trying to get them out of their zone.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you may say things, not that saying that's okay, but
Look,
you're gonna.
UFC fighters do it all the time.
They do.
Boxers do
Two
it all
wrongs
the time.
don't make a right, for sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I get it.
Yeah, but three lefts.
3 lefts
Four
make a
lefts.
right. Yeah.
No, three lefts. Three lefts make a right.
Depends. I don't know. I have
Yeah.
nothing to say.
We're all done doing maths. All right, folks, let's go ahead and pay some bills really quick. It is that time. When we come back, we're going to cover some news.
Nice.
Prepare.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-430-7568. 800-430-7568. 800-430-7568. That's 800-430-7568.
7568.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0471. 800-245-0471. 800-245-0471. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0471.
Hey ladies, when it's not raining men, it's always raining tacos at Juan's Flaming Fajitas and Cantina during their daily happy hour from 3 to 7. If things get a little too hot from their authentic Flaming Fajitas, you can visit their outdoor dining area and cool down with one or dos Corona Ritas. If you're feeling spicy, be sure to order one of my personal favorites, their fresh tableside guacamole, which goes perfectly with their homemade chips and salsa for one or two.
Visit Juan's Flamin' Fajitas and Cantina on Facebook or in the real world at 9640 West Tropicana. Proud supporter of the Rockin' Comedy Show for 2 years and counting.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Welcome back, everybody. This is TCD, Two Clueless Dudes, with my sub for the week, Ricky Bobby.
What?
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right.
Okay, so actually speaking of that, let's get to some Netflix news. It's time. Let's talk about Tiger King.
Oh, you're
Okay.
finally ready for some more Tiger Kinging?
I decided, I did like a little binge. I watched like 3 episodes. So that way I kind of had more of an idea and more we could talk about. So again, I have not finished the show. I don't know if you've seen it at all.
No.
Okay, so
Oh, no.
this is going to be great.
So here's the deal. I was watching your guys' episode last week,
Uh-huh.
and you guys were talking about it. I even typed in to let you know. It lost me at the preview. It really did.
What was it that...
I think it was. I think almost all of it, because it almost seemed like the guy was so desperate to be famous,
For sure.
and it just, I don't know. It just irked me. I was like, why are you trying so hard? You could just easily be famous because you got a really cool thing going on right now.
It's not... It's Cox. It's not us.
Okay.
It's freaking
So
Cox. I want to strangle them. Anyway,
Cox
go
is
on.
our issue if you're having
Yeah,
streaming
we're
issues with us.
hardwired to Cox. This is just, and we're in the middle of town.
Yeah.
We're
Gotcha.
just this stupid island city we live in.
Yeah.
We're
Gotcha.
a monopoly
So-
of a freaking
so
internet
continue, I'm
company.
sorry.
Oh no problem. I don't know. It just seemed like when someone's so desperate for attention, it's such a turnoff for me. It's like just.
That's part of what makes it juicy for me is you just like watch it, get them in trouble.
Yes.
My wife's
Yes, I
been like,
watch
my wife's like, oh, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. All my friends think it's so great, and I'm like, I just can't because all I see is this guy just like wanted so desperate.
Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Uh-huh.
He's actually, in a way, he is like the anti-hero.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you that
He
was going to
really
happen for
kinda
you.
is the
He
anti-hero.
starts to grow on you, and you
Yeah.
start
Okay.
to kind of sympathize with him.
You kind
Okay.
of get where he's coming from.
for sure.
I kind of already did like from the preview because it talks about how he was kind of framed and all this. Not framed, but let me see.
He was kind of framed.
Yeah, kind of. I
And
don't know
I
the
give it a
ending
half
yet.
a frame.
I
Set
don't
up.
know the ending
Boom.
yet.
Set up for sure.
Okay, definitely set up and like he,
So-
but he's. I get the vibe that he's just too stupid to understand. He was getting himself in that situation, and it was just like I was just like, I've got so much more. It was almost like when you were talking about the movie people to give you back the 2.5 hours of your life.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm afraid to watch it because I'm afraid I'll never get that time back.
So, I'll give you a brief rundown on the
Okay.
episneck that I've seen up to
All right.
this point.
Give me
it
the goods.
starts. You discover that he owns this zoo. He is a redneck, gun-toting,
I get it. Yep.
gay polygamist.
Okay.
And he has his own little documentary crew. And to have the documentary crew there, they agreed to help him do his own little like TV show.
Okay.
So he's got like a radio show. He has his own country music songs
With videos.
with
and stuff.
videos.
Really?
Oh yeah,
nice
I'm
videos
not
too.
kidding. I'm not kidding. yeah. They're actually the production's good.
Oh, it's like HDAF.
yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So, and then you're also introduced to this guy named Doc
Antle.
Antle.
Okay.
Who goes by the name of Bhagavan, which apparently means Lord. And he also has like 6 or 7 wives, girlfriends
Okay.
of very young age that he gets them like fake boobs and stuff.
We
And he-
said later in interviews that weren't edited by the show that he didn't have them like sequentially. They're like sequentially, not simultaneously.
okay.
And a lot of the people that they show during that were actually like
Well, some of them
daughters and aunts and
Oh.
stuff that he wasn't even related to. So of course he'd hug them and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
But he was a polygamist.
he's definitely dated a bunch of people that lived there and gave him houses and
yeah.
stuff.
So
Okay.
and this guy, he's honest to God, he's the right prick, but he understands animals. He knows animals.
Okay.
And then you've got this lady named Carol Baskin.
I can't.
Carol Baskin.
And going by the memes, I can kind of figure out what she's about.
So, well, what she is about is she runs something called the Big Cat Rescue. And her whole thing is you shouldn't be allowed to own tigers or endangered animals.
Or pet
You
them.
shouldn't be allowed to pet them. She's
Okay.
really big on not being able to pet the babies.
Okay.
Whereas somebody like Joe Exotic, that's his name.
Which is another reason why it was something of a big turnoff. Was I was like, Just
well,
be you, man.
Because his real name is like Brogan Fleibel.
That's so him, though.
It really
Okay.
is.
Okay.
So, but that's how he makes his money and pays for his animals.
Right.
It's through that, so he can afford to pay the animals.
Okay.
She was keyword there, married to this millionaire, and there apparently was some type of strife between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then disappearance.
And then all of a sudden, he disappears.
The husband.
Yeah. He disappears. The place where his will was broken into and disappears. And she basically gets everything. Everything.
Okay. So then that's not at all fishy.
And he's never been found.
Right. Okay.
Super fishy, right? So, well, the issue with that is she had been messing with Joe Exotic and some of these other people to get them to, stop doing what they're doing. And she's trying to do movements, and she's big on social media.
Okay.
So
so
when that happened, her and Joe had already had a major rivalry.
Okay.
They did not like each other. When her husband disappeared, I think in 2013.
Well, the husband disappeared way before she even showed up on Joe's radar.
Right,
That
right.
was old dirt that he was digging up.
But, yeah.
because she had been harassing him since the beginning.
Right.
For letting people pet his. He has all kinds of violations of not treating the animals well enough. So I'm not defending him on that.
No, yeah.
But she was like just a thorn in the spine of all of that community.
The whole, yeah.
Even Doc Antle, which genuinely does a lot to treat the animals really well.
Yeah.
Okay. So was she
other than the rumors that once most of them get old enough, he takes them out and shoots them.
Yeah, that's completely untrue. He was like raided and investigated on that.
Wow.
And there
okay.
wasn't evidence of him.
Well,
really
good to
doing
know.
that. Yeah.
So he basically stirs up how she killed her husband.
Okay.
Fed him to the tigers or hid him in a septic tank. He starts actively trying to get people to come. He'll pay $10,000 to anybody who could tell him anything about that, right?
Okay.
So he's a reward for information.
Right.
It starts to spiral. They get more and more competitive. He decides to open up a traveling circusy thing called Big Cat Rescue Entertainment.
Right.
She's Big Cat Rescue, and he did that in a ploy to try to pull some of her viewership.
Okay.
Well, all it did was the name was super close, and he even used some of the same images from her webpage.
Okay.
So
basically stealing her marketing.
yeah. So he got busted, got into a huge lawsuit.
Okay.
It goes round and round and round and round. He spends all his money. She eventually goes after his parents. Dude, she is literally.
She hella goes
even,
after him financially first.
I mean, just goes after him financially, finds out he doesn't have anything, goes after his parents. Eventually, he decides they have an agreement. They settle on $1 million. He owes her $1 million. The problem is, Joe Exotic has this many dollars.
Okay.
They are feeding their animals from the Walmart,
like the leftover, the Walmart meat that expires.
expired. Or somebody went to buy it and couldn't afford it, and they're not allowed to put it back. Exactly. They're not allowed to put it back.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but he had always done that.
Yeah. Well,
That's how he'd always fed him.
he'd
But
always
it was
been
they were starting to run dry.
Yeah, but it turned into that was what they were solely feeding. Because remember in the
Yeah.
beginning, it showed them with other animals. They were feeding them other things.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of starts to dry up as they start running out of the money. And then his animals are going hungry. They're going hungry. He can't afford to pay his staff. I mean, it gets bad. And he starts to get pretty desperate.
Okay.
And when he gets desperate, he winds up meeting this guy who takes him to his mansion in Vegas, gives him a ride in a Ferrari. Joe buys it hook, line, and sinker, thinking that this guy is he's gonna step in and he's gonna help me with
He's
all
gonna
of his
save his life.
financial. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gives.
This guy's spooky,
he
too.
gives all of his rights to the zoo to him, so he now owns the zoo.
The guy in Vegas.
The spooky dude, yeah.
Okay.
He did not have that kind of money. It was all rented.
Yeah, he was just a poser graybeard.
He wanted to get access to the cats, to bring the cats to Vegas, to try to do this Vegas bus tour thing with animals that you could pet, which apparently goes horribly wrong, but I'm not to that point yet.
Yeah.
On top of that, Joe has decided to run for president.
I saw that too. That's another thing. I was like,
He legitimately runs for president.
Some of the best plot points of this as a story involve that.
Yes.
Okay. So
now,
great.
He
Just his
obviously
characters.
doesn't win.
If it was fiction, it would be fucking
You couldn't
any
even-
award winning.
You couldn't even write this. So it turns
Okay.
out that he's not going to win, so he changes his mind and decides to run for governor of
Okay.
Missouri, right? Is it Missouri or Wyoming? or-
Louisiana.
What's one of those
Yes.
places? So he decides to run for governor.
Okay.
Or mayor or something. I don't know. Is it mayor? It's mayor.
Magistrate.
Something, yeah.
Okay.
Supreme overlord. So he starts this huge campaign. He hires a campaign manager.
With money he doesn't have.
Well, it's a guy that sold him ammo at the Walmart, who happened to have been political
Advisor.
in school for politics. That's what he was going to school
Yeah,
for.
it's this
And he
poor-
actually has a good platform.
Yeah.
The kid has a platform.
Okay.
And he just gives his platform to Joe. And that's what they run his entire campaign on.
Okay.
Is that and, Joe just being a very honest and open and crazy person.
Okay. I dig that though. I like that. That's cool.
On
Have
top
you-
of that.
have you seen what happens to the younger husband yet?
Yes. So that is okay. So the first husband he has turns out he knocked up the lady at the cash register, and they have a baby and they're in love and they run off together.
Because that husband wasn't really in love with him. He was just so addicted to meth that he was horny for whatever and easily manipulable.
So this is
Which
the
is
first
the
one.
theme of the second husband
Yeah.
too.
So the second one's
Yeah.
also hooked on meth.
Okay.
So he-
Younger.
yeah.
He was only like he was 20 something, but
Yeah, early 20s.
Early 20s, and
Okay.
that's actually what floored me. Of all this stuff, nothing shocked me more than so. This guy had this thing with guns. He liked to point guns at people, and he liked to
Bad.
smoke meth and do marijuana and
Yep.
ride his dirt bikes.
Always awesome combination.
Awesome combo.
Dirt bikes and guns
He
all
pulled a
over.
gun on the
The campaign kid.
manager.
Yeah.
And he had done it before, and the campaign manager kid, there's a video. You could see the campaign manager, but you can't see him. His name is Travis. And he's like, you're not supposed, don't point guns at me. I don't like when you point guns at me. He goes, oh, it's a Ruger. There's no clip. Rugers don't fire if there's no clip. Watch. Shoots his brains out.
Shut up.
That was my reaction exactly. I
And
was absolutely
You see the campaign
stunned.
manager's reaction in the security camera photo, like in real time. It's insane.
Effing stunned. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was stunned. Holy
Yeah.
mother. Can you imagine being
He
him?
responds like Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
Yeah, he does this. He does
Yeah.
that. And what do you do?
Yeah, I'd Home Alone over that too.
Everything just sounds horrible.
Dude, you can't even.
It's a roller coaster
You
ride.
can't even You couldn't write this.
Yeah.
No.
You really couldn't write this. And
That's
then
a-
there's all this stuff that I'm leaving out.
It's
that
the
you just have
best
to find out on your own.
docuseries
'cause
that
it's-
I've ever seen about anything.
So before we talk about the next series that I want to talk about on Netflix, we
Okay.
have these incredible cookies to try
Oh, nice.
from a great company out here in Vegas
Uh-huh.
called Crumble. They were kind enough to give these to us.
Crumble, we're gonna eat your things and sing you a song. It's crumble time.
So they're big
Heck yeah.
cookies. They're big cookies. They're gourmet cookies. Okay.
All right.
So I've got
That red velvet looks amazing.
red velvet. The other one I think is a
Try not to munch in the microphone while you
Okay.
enjoy. Just make faces of enjoyment.
this
Well,
is a sugar cookie, and then chocolate caramel.
The chocolate
So,
caramel,
let's
yes.
just go ahead. Let's try it. Let's start with the chocolate caramel. I
Okay.
guess. Let's give it a go.
Oh yeah, I didn't have to ask me. I dove right into that one.
Ooh. It's rich,
It seems like the caramel itself is also chocolatey.
Absolutely.
right? Kind of
Absolutely.
like if a Milky Way was a cookie.
That's right.
I have to mix this pink and white one in. Well, there's still a little chocolate in my mouth, so there's like a little swirl. I've got a little,
Oh, yeah. There you go.
little undertow.
Undertow.
All right, let's try that one out. They're really soft.
Very,
so soft! Whoa!
very soft.
Whoa!
Awesome. I love it.
Whoa!
I love that sugar cookie taste.
Yeah,
That's
between
awesome.
that and the mic hooking it up with the energy drinks, I'm like
You buzzing?
wall bouncing right now. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm vibrating.
He's ready for some pickleball.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try
Red
the
velvet?
Red velvet.
Yeah, me too.
Let me make like a theme song to you playing that. Like this is
Oh, wow.
I like it.
I love the icing.
yeah, this is
Ooh, that's good.
munching tunes.
That's cream cheese icing.
Hands down, best cookie.
Yeah. Incredible. Yep.
Hands down,
Such
best
cream cheesy.
Yeah. I
That's
love
some
it.
red velvet.
Love it.
cookie. All right. So let's
All
let's go on to the next show.
Okay.
that I want to talk about, and that is the Formula One documentary series.
Hell yes.
That is out
Oh, I
on
haven't
Netflix.
seen this. I haven't seen this. You guys can tease me with it.
Okay. It is.
You can spoil some stuff. It'll just
Okay.
make me look
We're
forward to
going
those.
'Cause I was really I didn't know that much about Formula One. So let me just kind of clarify. I really didn't know.
Yeah, me neither, really.
This is a great show for you if you've never
I'm hooked.
followed it, because it gets you such an inside look that you have an idea of what to expect. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm used to NASCAR, and there's only 20 drivers in Formula One.
Correct.
So there's only 20 cars. There's only a 20-car field, and each car has a teammate.
20 seats because FIA won't allow each team to have any more than just 2.
Right. So you've got what, 10 teams total? That's it.
10 teams total.
So where in NASCAR you've got there could be 40, 33, or is it still 40?
No, there's
40.
They start 40 cars now, but
It's
it
40.
used to be 43, and then yeah.
So you got 40, and then some of the drivers, I mean, they don't even finish the race. They get on, get paid, and get off.
They call it start and park.
But start partners. But you can't really do that in Formula One because the amount of money to run a Formula One team was absolutely staggering to me. Because I know, for a NASCAR, just for, I think the actual to build a NASCAR car, it wasn't like $2 million.
No.
Less.
Yeah, it's less.
It's less, right?
A lot less.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not to build the. I mean,
I seriously thought about $2 million.
You could have a functional NASCAR team for what would you say, tens of millions of dollars?
Like to run a season.
Like the whole kit?
To run a season, I think it's somewhere around 20 million.
You need 20 million per car per season. Is about what you need to run through a season.
Or 15 million, something like that. It's up there. I know 10 million for. I think it used to be 10 million for the Cup cars. But now, and the trucks used to be 2 million. Now the trucks are 5 or 8 million, something like that, along those lines. I kind of lost touch with that.
Yeah, but that's about the approximate price range.
But millions.
Millions.
Not billions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy difference.
When you get into Formula One, Ferrari and Mercedes have the top budget, and they're north of $600 million a year.
Yikes.
Okay, that's just to run the series.
Yeah, not even to invest the cars initially.
That's
or
not
anything.
the R&D into the chassis. That's nothing else. And you look at an Indy car, and you're like, oh, they look pretty similar. It's like a Formula One car.
Different.
They're so different. As a matter of fact, an Indy car is considered a dinosaur in the Formula One world.
Yeah.
Because you have active aero going on.
There's so many. Yeah.
They're so
F1's
different.
always the most latest technology.
Right. And so they got so much development going into these cars. It's nonstop. They build everything in-house for their chassis. They're designing their chassis, whereas Indy cars are all designed by Dallara, which is one chassis maker.
Right. Oh. And isn't all Indy cars engine power plants supplied by Honda?
No. Honda, Chevrolet.
Oh, Chevy's in it now.
And because Chip Ganassi's with Chevy.
Okay,
it's funny because
gotcha.
Chip Ganassi's got Chevy for IndyCar, they got Chevy for NASCAR, and they're Ford for IMSA and road racing.
Weird. That's interesting.
Yeah, which is weird, yeah.
So just to give you an idea of so this is where the gap between teams is so incredible. There's a team called Martini Williams, which is Aston Martin. Their budget is $140 million a year. How can you compete to a team that's spending $640 million to your $140 million?
At one time, Williams was completely in-house.
Yeah.
This is kind of what Formula One became. They were completely in-house, and they were powered by BMW. And they were the team in Formula One.
Yeah, they won a lot of championships. They kind of, I wouldn't say they rested on their wins or whatever. Sure.
But they just fell behind.
They did.
And now you've got 3 teams that are dominant.
Yeah, then that was the Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull.
Correct.
And the guy that drives for Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton.
Incredible.
The guy, he's wins everything.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where you want to say, well, obviously he's got the best tech, but I honestly think he's actually a very good driver.
We have the same masseuse in Abu Dhabi.
That's cool. And then at Ferrari, Kimi Räikkönen, he's old, but He was a good driver in his prime.
I recognize the name. Yeah.
The other guy though,
Kimi is one of the best drivers in the world.
yeah, he's one of my favorites to be honest.
And if you ever listen to him on the radio, he's like, shut up, I know what I'm doing, leave me alone.
Yeah,
like
he's got quite a.
he's
He's
that guy.
funny actually. He's kind of funny.
hilarious. 'Cause
See,
he's-
I forgot you could listen to people on the radio.
It's
and
awesome.
It sounds so much more fun.
Oh yeah, because then you get to hear like emotions and like,
Yeah. Oh,
what
sick.
the hell is he thinking? The idiot, it's funny.
Yeah.
Wow, so you get like road rage aspect.
Oh, yeah.
And they curse and everything. It's
Oh
fun.
yeah, they get
Sick.
pissed.
It's like robot football.
And then you get
I would
there's
say they
some-
actually get more angry than even in NASCAR.
Fun.
Yeah, it's Sebastian Vettel. Oh, not Vettel.
Is it Vettel? Vettel is
Max
the other.
Verstappen's the problem.
Verstappen is
Red Bull.
He's Red Bull. Vettel is Ferrari.
Yep.
He's fantastic.
Vettel
Great
is amazing. Yeah.
Verstappen's good. I really like that Ricardo for Red Bull.
Daniel Ricciardo is
Daniel
probably one of
Ricciardo.
the best personalities in Formula One because he
Great
is
dude.
funny.
Yeah.
He's down to earth.
Humble.
He's humble. And he wants to have fun. This is
Yeah.
what it's about.
But you know who my favorite has been?
Who?
And they barely touched on him.
Who?
But I told you this at the beginning of that season when we were talking about Formula One a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I said I was excited for Charles Leclerc.
Let me tell you something about that kid. I gotta try not to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
season 2,
Oh, I
okay.
know.
So one
Amazing.
of the biggest problems.
I know
Netflix,
that he gets.
Yes.
I know that he gets to change teams,
So first of all,
which
so-
is, and the team they changes to is really out of the norm for that team.
no,
They almost never take young.
that's true. But there's a story behind it that you're gonna find out through part 1.
Is this acted out or is it a docu?
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Oh.
Yeah, and
So it's
it
full
has
real.
to do with
Sick.
the guy that in 2013,
His
right?
buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, his godfather.
His godfather was supposed to get the ride to Ferrari.
Yes.
Was killed in a race back in 2013. So his whole goal in life was to become a race car driver for Formula One for Ferrari.
His whole goal.
Well, this last season, he got it.
He and what's really cool about that is he was driving in Alfa Romeo Sauber.
Right.
And
which is Ferrari's farm team.
Farm team, and they don't give him as much. They don't have as much money.
Farm
They're-
teaming.
Yeah.
So you're gonna learn
Some terms.
So Red Bull is
Yeah.
the main team for Red Bull.
Yeah.
Well, they got a subsidiary
Toro
team,
Rosso, right?
Toro Rosso,
Oh.
which
Yeah.
is
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
So is it
That's
like
Spanish.
a way for them to shake out younger drivers and
Right.
stuff?
It's almost their development.
Break 'em in?
Their So they got their F2 teams and their F3 teams, and even some F4 teams. Well, as they feed them up now,
sick.
Ferrari's got. They just started them that season that
Yeah.
you're watching, and that's when Leclerc got pulled out from F2 to come drive their
Sauber. Yeah.
Sauber team.
Yeah.
Now, what's F2?
F2 is just like almost like your AAA for baseball,
Okay.
Yeah.
or your minor league.
Gotcha.
It's basically that's the next step below Formula One.
That's
Formula
organized.
One, yep, and then Formula 3, and then when you start getting down to like Formula 4 and stuff like that, start branching out. Like I have a buddy that ran the Formula 4 series in China.
Oh, wow.
So they have regional stuff. I had my FIA license in the the Gulf Coast states.
Yeah.
So basically, anything in the Persian Gulf or whatever, like all
What's
those tracks.
that?
Yeah.
FIA license.
Oh, FIA is
Still-
what the FIA is the sanctioning body like NASCAR.
Okay.
But for Formula One.
Oh,
Actually, for a lot of motorsports worldwide.
okay.
Motocross.
Nipples. Nipple
Everything.
racing. Nipple clamps.
Everything. Oh yeah, especially those really fast ones.
Nippleopolis.
Yes.
Give me the name of my strip club.
But what you guys don't see is like the first. So
Like, oh, what? Something
Nipple.
short circuited this fellow with the sugar. Nipples.
So, but what you're going to see in the first series does not have Mercedes or Ferrari. They don't really touch on them.
Because why?
Why?
I mean, really.
Top two teams in the world.
Like they win. They podium first, second, and third.
Every race.
Every race.
Matter of fact,
It's like guaranteed.
because of the way money is and how Formula One's orchestrated and how there's even
Yeah.
some political games going on in there, especially if you
Uh-huh.
ever
I mean-
watch a movie about Niki Lauda.
Okay.
He
Oh,
was one
yeah.
of Formula One's biggest things. Well, there's a movie called Rush Hour, which was kind of like the cinematic. It has Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth as,
Darth Vader.
yeah, no, as
Nancy Pelosi.
as Niki Lauda's nemesis. Oh
Nancy
my god,
Pelosi is in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
His
I just forgot now.
Steppenwolf.
No,
Senna?
No, it's not Ayrton Senna. So Ayrton Senna has
John Leguizamo.
That's another thing. If you ever watch, there's a Senna.
Ayrton Senna,
Ayrton Senna has a
That was sad.
I know
Too.
there's a movie just called Senna that's on my
Wasn't
watch
Michael
list.
Schumacher?
That's the one.
eventually. Okay.
If you watch it, you're going to see the politics of
Sick.
Formula One.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Huge.
Alrighty.
Huge.
Isn't Schumacher F1?
He was.
Yeah, he's retired.
Right.
Isn't that the
Ferrari.
stick? Michael Schumacher?
They said so, but I don't know.
I
if
don't think it's always been him. I
No,
think they
like
have
one
other
of the
people
seasons.
sit in. Yeah.
But I think it was debunked that he may have done it for like one season, but or debunked that he didn't do. I don't know.
Yeah, what I read is it definitely wasn't as much as they acted like it was him.
Right.
I mean, you can see it's a different person in the suit a lot
yeah.
of times.
Yeah. And it's funny because they actually had the Stig out at Speed Vegas, and the Stig would not talk to anybody.
Wow.
Like, you
Never.
can't- like,
The stag.
like they keep.
It's Santa Claus,
they
basically.
keep. Yeah, they keep it under wraps of who it is.
That's incredible.
So, anyways, you're gonna watch season 1.
Yeah.
No Ferrari, no Mercedes. Season 2 touches on both teams, and you get to see a real insight as to why some of these drivers are the way they are. Because you'll even see rivalries within the team.
Within teams. Like, it's funny because that's what I'm saying. Like, even in in NASCAR, you've got multi-car teams, and there is some rivalry there, but they actually work together. They actually do strategize together. You do not get that in Formula One.
Well,
they do
wow.
not like each other.
Actually,
Some of them seriously hate each other, and they're teammates.
yeah. Well, that's true. But the actual strategizing, that's actually not true because the team principal has ultimate say
In F1,
in F1.
right?
And
Well,
what
that's why they could tell them to break off.
And they
not-
just tell him, here's the deal. You will not pass so and so.
yeah.
What do you mean? We're racing. I've got the better car. Do you not want the car to? Nope. We have our number 1 driver. We have our number 2 driver.
Yeah.
Period.
And so there's a lot of accidents where it's teammates causing their own accidents.
And the biggest,
Ew.
and
It's pretty crazy.
like 4 years ago, Nico
Yes.
Rosberg won the championship. Not Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's kind of like a middle of the pack.
Yeah, he's a middle packer right now
Nico Rosberg.
for Renault.
Rosberg was driving for Mercedes, and Rosberg's German. Mercedes is German. Lewis Hamilton was kicking their butts.
Yeah,
is
he American?
No, British.
Oh, he's British. Okay, I wasn't sure.
So the thing is, though, these with the Mercedes makes their own power plants. They do everything. Like they got their stuff dialed in.
Yeah.
They never have part failures.
Oh.
Well, Nico and Hamilton are duking it out, and they wanted to get a German car championship.
So you're saying Hamilton would be a 6-time champ,
7-time champ.
7-time champ if it weren't for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he had 5 engine expires throughout the season. Still finished second in points because he was that guy.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Anyways,
It was really cool to see the dynamic, and you get to see. So, like, what it means is there's teams like Toro Rosso, Sauber, but really like Gene Haas Racing, who's only been in for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Renault, McLaren, that are literally, they know they're not good enough, but so they're clawing with each other to be better than those. So those three, they're like middle of the pack. They're basically 4, 5, and 6. The fight between those three, that's the real competition. That's the real race, is between those ones, and it's incredible.
The race for 4th.
and this
Yeah,
is
basically, the
this
race
is how-
for 4th is where it's really at.
This is how bad it got. At one point, you could guess the top 6 spots were Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. At any given time, you
Yeah.
didn't have to hear, you didn't have to see, you didn't.
No.
You
Occasionally
just knew.
one would sneak in, but
Yeah, like Fernando Alonso, just because he was the world champ.
yeah, dude's just amazing
And
driver.
so, like, that's it. But the dynamic inside of it, it gets pretty intriguing. Like, you'll start seeing, like, pit stops. You see NASCAR, 14 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. A Formula One pit stop is under 2 seconds long.
and they change all 4 tires and can change your nose of the car. The whole front fender of the car is changed.
Dang. Did you see? Speaking of that, Red Bull did a special
I like Red
where
Bull.
they did a pit
Red Bull.
stop in zero gravity.
What?
And they took a giant Russian plane that's for testing people
Oh,
experimenting
snap.
with zero gravity, right? And they got a car to roll into it, and they practiced. They practiced for a while.
Whoa, that's crazy.
For a video shoot, and like the cameraman had to practice too, and they did the YouTube video for the event was also behind the scenes of it, at the same time. It
Oh,
was
wow.
really
Let's find
cleverly
that.
produced.
That's pretty cool.
So you saw the behind the scenes of how they produced it as a thing, and then you saw the thing.
Yeah.
And it was really
But
rad.
I will say it's absolutely worth, and the politics that is involved, and it sucks
Oh.
because there was a kid that winds up losing his seat, and he doesn't get one for 2019, and he was a very good driver, but because he did not have a big money backer behind him, he was just some poor kid who happens to be able to drive. He got the boot.
Here's what happened. Someone bought the team
Yeah, bought the team
and put his son, who's terrible,
yes,
in
not
the
very
car.
good. And because the person that backed that kid was the previous owner who no longer owns the team, his money dried up.
Good news though, that kid got a ride with Mercedes F2 team as a he's also not an F2 team. I'm sorry, he's their he's one of the Mercedes test drivers.
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah,
The kid was really
That's
good,
okay.
and
you'll see that in season 2.
yeah, he's much better than the other driver for that.
100%.
But because he's got that $1 billion backing, he got the seat, and
That's right.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad that's what it comes to because teams are so desperate to try to compete with Mercedes and to try to come up with that 200-300 just to get up to like $300 million budget a year is astronomically hard.
Yeah,
For sure.
and
It's
then
crazy.
season 2 comes up with some good
Woo,
stuff
I'm
about.
excited.
Yeah, it's and
Very
you're
good.
gonna love it because Alfa Romeo, Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm a huge Alfa Romeo guy.
And
I have
Ferrari.
an Alfa.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
and-
yeah, you got one of the newer ones.
And
And
I
you-
do. I love it.
How's
you-
that warranty?
So far, I've had no issues, but I did just get a recall for the powertrain that I have to go in, but they've handled everything. I haven't
That's
had
cool.
any.
Oh, no, I'm not expecting a modern car to break that much in its first couple years. I'm wondering, like, is it one of those situations where you get like a 3-4 year warranty and then you trade that shit in?
Right. Well,
Because the parts would probably be astronomical.
Yeah. Well, I do have an extended warranty. I spent a ton of money to make sure I had like a mega warranty.
I
'cause
would just for
wasn't sure-
parts availability.
I wasn't sure how it would be, how reliable it would be, but
Yeah.
probably in another 3 years, I'll probably go and maybe try to trade it in, but I'll probably stick with either Alfa or go to Mercedes.
What's the most unique
anticipate-
thing about it that you noticed immediately between it and other cars?
One,
Besides
it's-
that nose.
One, it's power plant.
The power plant,
The
does it feel
engine.
unique?
Yeah, well, it's a 4-cylinder, but it puts out 280 horsepower, which for a luxury mid-class sedan, there's nothing that comes close. Mercedes comes the closest. They're C-class, and that's 240 horsepower.
It sounds like it'd be like slower takeoff, but great top end.
It's 0 to 60 in 5 seconds.
All
I
right.
mean, it's incredible. The car is incredibly fast. It's got very reliable 8-speed, and it's not actually the 8-speed's not even from Alfa. It's not from Fiat at all.
Really?
It's either Toyota or Honda. Oh, it might be Mazda. No, I think it's Toyota or Honda.
That would make a lot of sense for
It's
like getting
their-
it to America.
It's their 8-speed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's what they put
I
in
love
the
their
car.
gearbox.
Yeah, so that's like the gearbox they use. That, and also the car has a perfect like 50-50 ratio from weight on the front and weight versus the rear. So you could drive it pretty nuts and not
Not lose it so much,
not
yeah,
lose
yeah.
control really. And the steering is probably the best feature of that car is how well it handles.
Really noticeable handling.
Dude, it's insane. Especially after driving, like, my dad's got a Mini Cooper, and it's like driving a squirrel on skates.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah, Doug
I thought I
DeMero
was gonna
did
die.
one on that, and I remember it being pretty affordable for being a unique fella too, or at least like competitive.
Absolutely.
Can you believe it's already time to pay bills?
Just a quick one because we did some extra ones earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Don't go. Absorb this
Absorb
deep
this.
inside you.
High quality rock is on the air. It used to be LV Classic Rock, but truth is, we outgrew and outlasted the classic rock format with the time-tested best rock and roll artists and songs ever. Only the highest quality rock, the music you've loved for years and years, and a great lineup of shows and personalities. Jeff Dorset, Gary Jackson, Crazy J, Tom Seaborn, Will Meadows, and even Dr. Duck's guitar prescription. Better than classic rock, it's high quality rock at highqualityrock.com. Take high quality rock with you using the free Radio Vegas Rocks app.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Welcome back to Two Clueless Dudes. An Augsburg head coach to miss the restart of his season, his football season. By football, I of course mean soccer. After breaking quarantine to get toothpaste.
Dude, you got to get that fresh breath.
Come
on.
I see this being a made an example of. Like, he pissed someone off to get this.
Heiko
That's about as essential as it
Herrlich.
gets.
Yeah.
Besides TP.
He will miss the restart of the German season after he broke strict quarantine rules by leaving the team hotel to buy toothpaste. Like, the man, I mean, come on, you can't
It's
go
got to
around
be
with,
the way he did it. He
you
must
can't
have
go around
gone
with
out.
stank teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't just leave the hotel. He left the hotel, like, backhanding people or something.
That's it. It's had to be
Yeah.
something. Or he
Made a
yelled
fit.
at somebody.
There had to be a tantrum
Maybe
involved.
they didn't have his Colgate.
Yeah.
I mean, and what the sad part is then he has to go and make like this apology and on how he didn't live up to his role. Bro, you went to get toothpaste.
Yeah.
You went to not have mouth stank.
Yeah.
You should not be punished.
I agree.
for
Or
wanting-
apologizing.
Right, or apologizing for that. Come on now. Come
It's-
on, man.
Come on. Yeah, come on, man.
Okay. How about
Football's
this
out
one?
of control.
Man breaks into cancer ward.
Okay.
Okay, a man broke into a hospital cancer ward. Excuse me, drank 2 bottles of alcohol sanitizer, urinated on the floor, threw up, and pulled a curtain down to use as a blanket.
Man.
David
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Dudley Miller was found slumped on a bed the next day. They found him the next day. They didn't even know. They found him the next day by a horrified cleaner at the Diana, Princess of Wales Hospital
Oh, wow.
in England. Miller, 39, of no fixed address, apologized to the staff at the hospital when he appeared in court. He said he had such a problem with alcohol that he needed help, and if he walked
Oh,
out
that's
of court,
why he drank the rubbing
he would
alcohol.
go steal
Okay.
some. Yeah.
I got it.
The court heard the hard-pressed NHS would be left with a $500 bill during the coronavirus crisis at the time when it was facing financial pressure and difficulty. Let's see here. Miller had caused problems at the hospital before.
Repeat offender.
Yeah, he's a repeat offender and was well known to security guards. And he still
Oh,
managed to
jeez.
sneak in. Oh, okay.
He probably
You
had his
got
mask on.
There
Oh,
he
it's
is.
okay. I'm pulling him up
Okay,
over here.
there
I was
he
gonna
is.
say
He probably had
everybody.
his mask on. So let's
As
give
long
him
as
the
he-
benefit of that.
Okay, so
He looks
first
like
off,
Wolverine's little brother.
Yeah.
he looks like if Wolverine and Simon Pegg had a baby.
Yeah, aw, little Peg.
Little Wolvie Peg.
Willie Peg.
Yeah. Logan
Wow.
Peg.
Logan Peg.
And he's got this horrific bald spot. He's definitely going to need to wear a hat if he goes out in the sun. He will burn.
Yeah.
That could probably be floor burn right
Yeah,
there.
he will get chrome
floor
burnage.
spot. Yeah.
Drinking floor cleaner?
Yeah. That's the floor spot from when he every time he hit it.
So
That's where he skids.
I'm glad that somebody's finally stepping out against wearing masks. So
Okay.
here you go. The Dayton City Commission passed an ordinance Wednesday. This is in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
That prohibits the concealment of one identity in public in some instances.
Right.
Okay? Just some instances. The ordinance will make wearing a mask in public while committing a crime or to intimidate another person illegal. Are you fucking kidding me? Isn't that like commonsensical?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wait, you honestly think somebody's gonna just, oh, I'm about to rob you, let me take my mask off?
Well, that
I don't want to get in trouble.
That goes with the whole firearm thing too. Like, do you think the bad guys are gonna?
Right, yeah, because you ban assault weapons, they can still get them.
Yeah.
They can get them
'Cause-
from the store.
Because this is the only crime they're gonna commit.
Right.
Not that they're gonna commit it with a stolen gun
Right.
or whatever
Never.
maybe.
But that's really funny. I'm about to rob. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Before I rob you, hold on. Let me just take my.
That's right.
Let me just take my mask off. That way, if I get arrested, I won't go to jail because
Absolutely.
of the mask.
It's one of those things where you can't like force Americans to do certain things without you increasing the rebellion
I
at a
agree.
certain point. So it's like we make like a social obligation and like a social understanding of situations that are like more apt to be like a good place for a mask or not, and let people make their own call
I
of whether
agree.
it's a mask place or not.
Right.
And you'll have a lot better response than just irrationally forcing it. So then you'll
I
have
agree.
people massively just cough on each other out of spite.
I agree.
Pick 'em
Right?
up!
And you
sure.
saw that, yeah. You saw that, or someone wiped their mouth off on someone's sleeve, like.
Jeff, I get comments now. Looks like we're getting some comments in finally.
Cool.
Okay, and it's here. I found it.
Okay.
Prince Harry is friendless and unemployed in L.A. Misses having a structure, per report.
Okay.
It's been a little over a month since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moved to boldly moved to California. And now a source close to the Duke of Sussex believes his American life is lacking structure. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex officially departed as senior members of the royal family at the end of March, marking a new life of unknowns as the couple vowed to earn their own keep and split their time between Harry's native Britain and Meghan's North American roots. After reports surfaced about Harry's loneliness in Los Angeles, where he and Meghan are living large in an $18 million mansion reportedly owned by Tyler Perry, who donated the home to them because they've got no
Glamping.
money. Yeah.
Wow.
So they're slumming it in only an $18 million mansion. He has a lot of friends in the military community. That's right, he's the one that was in the military.
Okay, cool.
And in the UK, and of course he misses them. This is a very strange time for us all, but I think Harry is missing having a structure to his life right now. Unlike Los Angeles-born Meghan, Harry doesn't have friends, and he currently does not have a job.
He needs to get like a video game stream and like start Twitch streaming.
He-
Like
That would be
Pretty
awesome.
good.
Yeah, he would do well.
Yeah.
just picture him streaming Fortnite or something.
And or Call of Duty.
So funny. I was thinking Call of Duty.
Back in the
Because he's in the military.
Yeah. All right, we need to have a
in the
strike
chat.
here. Here we
Yeah.
go. We're all gonna flank right.
Flank right.
Flank right. That's right.
But I mean, so he's got no job. He's living in a borrowed mansion.
Would you say this is the ultimate
Dude,
Borrowed
it's
mansion.
got to be.
ultimate whipped?
I mean, how is it? She's got friends and he doesn't.
Right.
Did she never introduce him to the friends? Does she go out all by herself? Like,
Well, maybe
leaves
he's-
him at the house? Watch the damn baby. I'm going out.
That's right.
And whips them up or whatever.
Yeah. And this house better be clean by the time I get home.
Royally clean.
Royally clean.
Royally clean.
It's not fully clean unless it's zest royally clean.
Yeah.
It
I
puts
think
the
this is-
lotion on its skin.
I think there's definitely a
Else it
one-sided.
gets the royal hose again. But you know what I'm saying?
Definitely one-sided.
I feel for the guy.
I do. Yeah. I agree.
This is probably one of my favorite stories of
Okay.
the day. So basically, in Massachusetts lawyer responded to a state bar misconduct investigation. And
Okay.
this was his response to the investigation. Boom shakalaka!
What?
That was it. He said boom shakalaka. That was what he said. And then he was
Sorry,
immediately
headphone users.
suspended. I know, right? He was then rightfully suspended for failing to cooperate.
So wait, what caused the boom
cooperated.
shakalaka?
He apparently had just. Well, the thing is I guess he apparently felt like it was unnecessary, and the whole thing was for him to supply an answer. He just had to come up with he had to comply and give an answer. He did that. He said he did comply. He did provide an answer, and my answer was provided in the form of silence and boom shakalaka.
That's awesome.
He also stated that to the extent an answer was required, he formally denied and demanded a jury trial. So I don't know what this guy did, but he
High
definitely right. The man's got some. He kind of reminds me of like Better Call Saul, you know, just kind of something like, or the lawyer. More like the lawyer from Arrested Development. I don't know if you've seen that show.
I guess.
It's the guy from Happy Days, Fonz.
Oh,
He
yes.
plays the lawyer. So such a good show.
Like the font, like two thumbs
That-
up in there.
she-
like,
you know what? I
That
bet you
show
Megan
has
can find
so
Clorox
many
wipes.
cool people. It has The magician guy, what is his name later on? He did so many things. There's
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Yeah.
There's that kid.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera. There's Michael Cera's dad that's in the thing.
That is Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Yeah, this is a good way to talk about people.
I got you. I feel you, fam. And then Ellen DeGeneres' wife, Portia de Rossi.
Yeah.
Barbara Walters. Jessica Walters.
And with bald, the blue, and the glasses.
Yes.
Comedian.
I can't remember his name. He is hilarious.
Religious, making fun of Christianity in his stand-up comedy.
Yes, he
and
also
it
was in a
relates to
show
his
called
name somehow.
The Exceedingly Poor Decisions of Todd something or other.
Yeah, Mr. Show, man, his
And
name.
he's also he also plays the voice of the caramel M&M.
Oh, the Kromali M&M, yeah. The Kromali M&M.
Yes, it's laminated.
Oh,
I
man.
don't know who that is.
I can't remember his
It's
name.
driving me nuts, too,
All right,
because his
we're gonna have
name
to-
always
we'll have to look it
related
up.
to his comedy to me in a way that's not going to make sense. That's all I know.
No, it's not Bob. I don't know.
No.
But we'll have to. We're gonna figure this out.
I'm going to know. You keep going.
We got to dive deep. Okay, so a while back there was a story about a Kansas man.
David Cross.
David Cross, that's his name. There was a
Oh.
story about a man in Kansas
There we go.
who
My buddy
sought
knows him.
trial by combat with his ex-wife over custody of his children.
Okay.
Wait,
So-
where do you do this trial by combat?
In,
Sounds-
in
sounds
court.
Texas?
Yeah, no, this was Kansas.
Oh, okay.
A
Sounds fair.
Kansas man who sought legal permission in Iowa to engage in a sword fight with his ex-wife is not insane, but merely angry over their child custody arrangement, according to a psychological evaluation that he was then required to have.
Oh, man.
He apparently,
She doesn't have to agree to a sword
He
fight, though,
apparently
right?
asked for the sword fight. Right, she doesn't have to. And they said, "We think you're nuts. Go see a psychologist."
So he wanted to
he's
duel.
decided. Yeah, he wanted to duel. It's apparently
Well, I'll
still a
show
law
you
there.
if I'm nuts. We'll sword fight over my craziness.
So apparently, it turns out that he's
Showed
not
you.
crazy.
Showed you.
The findings decided, that he's not crazy. He's just angry
Okay.
about being denied access to his children.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he then has flipped the script and has paid and filed a motion in the court to have his wife psychologically evaluated and to
Smart.
get reparations of up to $255,000 for emotional damages, $4,765 in legal fees, and $2,200 for the psych evaluation he had to pay for.
Yeah, see?
Wow.
Goes both ways.
Holla! See?
I like it.
Eventually, a man hits the line, right?
That
Yeah.
sword fighting line.
You
You gotta
get
have a
to
line. If you
point.
don't have a line, then you like murder sneaks up
Yeah.
on you.
I mean, when you love somebody, obviously, that line you may never even see that line.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But when you're in a toxic relationship,
You
this
gotta
is-
draw the line.
This is
That's
more what I'm
major.
talking about. When
Yeah.
you're in a toxic relationship,
No.
there is eventually a line.
Yeah, and you got to be true to yourself about
Yeah.
the line too, instead of just pushing it back on yourself,
Yeah.
because
Right.
it's easy to do
Oh,
that.
I
See, like he
deserved
could
it.
have just
Yeah.
gone and taken a
Or-
sword. He could have just sword fight his ex-wife without talking about it to the law. But he did the right thing.
Yeah.
He said, "Look,
Just
I
throw-
want to do some chop sake on my wife. I want to do it legally. Hook a
make-
brother up,
Let's make
judge."
this happen.
And the judge did not hook a brother up, but that's okay.
There's so much ignorance in the law to psychological manipulation and
He
it
says-
happening in either
100%.
direction. Yeah.
100%.
He alleges now that the whole trial by combat was more to get media attention for his case.
Yeah.
Well, smart.
Still, I
It's a
mean, even
move.
still,
But
you can do what you got to do, especially as a man, because I feel like as a man versus a woman, you're already at a disadvantage.
You're not giving them the benefit of the doubt with kid stuff for sure.
Right, exactly. You're at a
100%.
disadvantage.
I agree.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You got to do
You
what
gotta
gotta
like catch her blowing crack smoke in the kid's face.
do. Right.
and even then,
Again.
was
Yeah,
it really in the
again.
kid's face?
It's got to be live streamed.
Right. And then again, was that really in his face?
Yeah, was that really? It was just near face adjacent.
Was
So-
it close?
Speaking of the law
Okay.
and getting in trouble with the law,
Sure.
Jesse Smollett. I'm sure you've
Again?
heard of him. Yeah,
Mhm.
the guy that faked his own fight and
Yeah.
banged the dude. I guess that
His own ass whooping.
They gave him his ass whooping twice. Gave him an ass whooping twice, apparently.
Got the ass whooping and then
got the ass whooping.
Yeah.
Apparently, he has been offered a job. The Empire actor Josie Smollett has been having a tough week so far. But there appears to be a silver lining. Cable news channel CNN has offered Smollett a job as an investigative reporter.
Oh, great look, CNN.
On-air anchor after witnessing his skills at fabricating a story entirely out of thin air.
I was going to say, I knew where this is going. That is fantastic.
CNN producers were reportedly impressed throughout the ongoing saga of Smollett's apparent hoax, attack on himself. I like that, apparent hoax. They realized early on that the facts didn't add up, but were fascinated with how well the actor kept the narrative going. The HR rep quickly reached out to Smollett to see if he'd be interested in taking on a position at the news organization after news broke that the entire thing was probably fabricated. Smollett, in quotes, Smollett has exactly the kind of skills we're looking for at our fine organization, said CNN correspondent Brian Stelter.
Okay.
He picked a narrative, made up all the relevant facts and details, and stuck with his story in spite of the glaring holes in the plot. It's hard to find people who understand our core values here at CNN, but Smollett just seems to be the guy for us. The actor has apparently accepted the offer and is now undergoing training to learn how to weave even more intricate narratives, according to insiders.
Tell me this is fake.
Well, no, everything you hear here, everything you hear on the Two Clueless Dude show is 100% fact.
Okay.
It is backed by scientific data. Okay. Everything.
Awesome.
As factual as that statement.
As factual as that statement in itself.
We have scientists that do scientific sciencing.
Like writing, the science of writing things.
To come up with these.
That's fantastic.
To release all of our news. Okay, so.
I can tell you it was Googled. It was honestly.
Well, because it kind of goes along with like I don't know if this news was real or not, but supposedly a lawyer in Mexico is suing the United States for California, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and Washington and Oregon back because he said that the Mexican government signed it over to the U.S. under duress.
They're trying to pull that one, huh?
But it was in war.
Yeah.
Of course it's duress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You better be panicking.
Anyway, so I don't know if that's real or not.
Before we go, I have to say there has been the passing of a legend, and that legend was Little Richard.
That's right.
Oh, Little Richard.
So I actually met Little Richard.
Oh, wow.
And I have a story, and I wrote it down.
I love your story.
And I posted it on Facebook, so I'm going to go ahead and read the story so everyone knows
Lovely.
about my interaction I had with this incredible legend.
Fantastic, by the way.
With the time of the passing of Little Richard, I thought I would share a story about the time I met him. I was 23, and I think he was like in his 30s. I mean, the man didn't age until like the last 2 years of his life. And we both found ourselves, and this is where it gets interesting, we found ourselves trapped at the Shark Reef at Mandalay Bay. He had like a big entourage of stylists, assistants, and whatnot. So I find myself at Shark Reef to deliver some VIP tickets to a supervisor that worked there, because at the time I worked in ticketing at the Monte Carlo. I had trouble getting in because they had shut down the attraction for Little Richard. But I managed to get in, and while I was dropping off the envelope, there was the power surge. There was a loud like pop, pop, and the lights everything went dark until the emergency lights came on. All the doors were locked magnetically. And with the power out, we weren't able to reverse the polarity, so they were like permanently shut. You could not open the doors. So basically we're stuck. Well, we got to talking about how crazy the situation was. And, you know, I told him how cool it was to get to meet Lionel Richie. It's not every day.
That was awesome.
He then corrected me, but admitted that he had once confused Elvis for Roy Orbison at a party once. Yeah. He said to me, he said this to me, he said, hell, if we are stuck in here, we might as well see these damn sharks. I said, let's do this. We spent the next 45 minutes just tearing it up all over Shark Reef. We hid one of his hair pieces in the sand where you dig up the shells in hopes to scare the hell out of some little kids when they reopen it.
Awesome.
You know?
That's so awesome.
We showed our buttholes to the starfish, wondering if they would try to communicate, or if it was more like the starfish was looking into a mirror. You know, we kind of waxed philosophical on it, to be honest. At the end of the tour, we sat down cross-legged, we ate a bag of Doritos, half a payday, and we all shared a slightly warm Powerade.
Oh.
When the power came back on and it was time to leave, I said, "See you around, Lionel Richie." He said, "After a while, Tom Cruise."
Which you get that a lot.
I get that a lot.
Cruisy Tom.
Never saw him again.
Aww.
And that's our show, folks. Thanks for listening to Two Clueless Dudes on RadioVegas.rocks. Stay tuned. A lot of great content coming up. Another incredible live show coming up right after us. So stick around. And thank you very much. We'll be back next week. David Reed Watson.
Because David Reed Watson is next. I love David Reed Watson. You guys got to stick around. If you're on the video feed, go to RadioVegas.rocks and check out David Reed Watson right now. Yeah. Some sweet, surprising music excitement.